Hello, my name is Yvonne and I'm a Home and Well advisor. Although I specialise in utilities, I am fortunate to be part of a citizens advice team that has specialists in many other disciplines, including, but not exclusively, benefits, housing and homelessness, upon whom I can call for information and assistance when necessary. The Home and Well scheme brings reassurance to many clients, especially the vulnerable, elderly, and those with mental health problems and learning difficulties. We start by signing them into the Priority Services Register, where they are provided with contact details in the event of cessation of supply, be it gas, electricity, or water, for whatever reason. Many people who live on their own have remarked how the PSR inclusion alone has put their minds at rest, as they feel vulnerable not knowing who to turn to should there be an emergency. Dependent on needs, I review the client's utility bills and income for signs of fuel poverty, and with their consent, help them to make applications for improved tariffs and water discounts as needed. In some cases, saving hundreds of pounds and removing the fear of becoming overwhelmed by costs and outstanding bills. Where necessary, energy efficiency is discussed with the client, which may include such simple things as closing the curtains at dusk, efficient usage of night storage heaters, and drying laundry outside as opposed to in a tumble dryer. I often liaise with other agencies, some of whom are local hospital clinical staff, Age UK, Homelessness Prevention, social prescribers, and Footprint Trust, which is a local energy charity. This allows me to draw on the many talents and resources of others to enable the Home and Well scheme to provide an all-encompassing support system for the client. I would like to tell you about Colin, a gentleman approaching retirement. Colin gave up his own home some years ago and moved in with his ailing parents, whom he nursed 24/7 until their deaths, at which point Colin continued to live in the property on an income of £472 a month. In turn, Colin became very ill himself and was in hospital for nearly 9 months before being referred to the Home and Well scheme. Following major gastrointestinal surgery, Colin continues to be fed intravenously twice a day by a specialist nurse who calls at his home. He is also diabetic and bipolar and has a colostomy. Colin spent such a long time in hospital because he needed more than nursing to ensure a safe discharge. He was initially referred to Age UK and subsequently to me. Following a family tragedy, Colin does not have any close family, or should I say anyone who calls on him. And during his hospitalisation, his relatives, who thought he was going to die, as did Colin, so he tells me, broke into the property and emptied it, changing the locks on their way out. Ownership of the property is in dispute, and Colin has now received notice to quit. Utility companies and others were not notified about Colin's hospitalisation. No bills whatsoever were paid, and the leaking water tank in the roof caused problems. Local energy charity, the Footprint Trust, arranged for the repair from grant money they receive. The garden became overgrown and people started fly tipping. Fortunately, Colin is now able to look after himself mostly, although a bit wobbly from time to time, and he has memory lapses. He is able to go out and walk a little as he wants to get fit enough to be considered for his next major operation, which he describes as being reconnected. He has not eaten solid food for a year and is looking forward to steak and chips, but at present he has no teeth, as they were removed while he was in hospital. We are pursuing NHS dentures via his GP. Colin did not understand the benefits system, and the local citizens advice specialist, Clive, stepped in, and within a few weeks Colin was in receipt of benefits totalling just over £1,000 a month. His building society account was changed so that utilities could be paid by direct debit, and Colin was encouraged to do this himself, which he did quite successfully. His water bill had skyrocketed because of the leak, but Southern Water have gone out of their way to be helpful. After Mark of Footprint Trust dug out the water meter in the garden, and we negotiated a leak allowance and an essentials discount. A simple payment plan was set up for his unpaid TV licence. We explained Colin's situation to the licensing authorities, and threats of prosecution were withdrawn. There is an excess of £3,000 outstanding for council tax. I have discussed this with the council, who have applied all discounts available and advised on making applications under Section 13A and Exceptional Hardship Fund. We are assisting the client with these forms. Colin now has an affordable payment plan for his electricity account, which was in debt from a couple of years ago. His gas bill is in order. A skip was arranged and paid for by Age UK, and neighbours are helping to clear the fly-tipped rubbish. It is now apparent that Colin will have to leave the property, and we have made an application for social housing on his behalf and arranged all the necessary supporting evidence to make the matter urgent. Where would Colin be without support? Thank goodness for the Home and Well scheme.